All right guys, today we're going to be talking trekking poles. There's a lot of debate in the hiking community whether you should use them, you shouldn't use them, all that kind of thing. But we're going to talk about today what I carry and why I carry it and how I did it. So stay tuned through the intro. What's up? My name is Doug, aka the Bearded Outdoorsman. Welcome to another video. If you enjoy hiking videos, gear reviews, beard product reviews, then you've come to the right place. Take the first step, click that subscribe button right there, and make sure to click that little bell so you're notified when I drop new content. All right, so today, like I said in the beginning, we're going to be talking trekking poles. Now, there is a lot of debate on trekking poles. There are people that swear by them. There are people who say you don't need them. All sorts of different opinions on trekking poles. Now myself, I carry trekking poles. I love the aspect of being able to take a little bit of the weight and burden off of my knees and help me to navigate some of those rocky terrain. It just is a little bit easier to me. There's people that are, like I said, there are people that are strongly against trekking poles and will not carry them. Now, I did a section hike, and if you're not familiar with what a section hike is, like for a long trail like the Appalachian Trail, a section hike is picking up in one place, hiking to another, and getting off. And then coming back later and starting at that spot you left off and going to the next spot. So I did a section hike that was really bad on one of my knees, and I was in pain. So somebody recommended trying trekking poles. Now I looked online, I looked at various places, and the price to just try trekking poles was out the roof for a good quality trekking pole. So I wasn't willing to spend that money. Got to looking and found out there was a way to make my own. So what I did was I went to a thrift store and picked up 3 golf clubs for $5, a driver, a 3-wood, and a 5-wood, all graphite shaft, and turn them into trekking poles. Now, the only downside to these trekking poles is they are not adjustable. They're not collapsible, they're not adjustable. But other than that, I have no problems with them. They've gone probably 50 plus miles with me on section hikes and absolutely love them. They are a staple in my gear that I take with me. So the pros to trekking poles is, like for me, if you'll watch my Blood Mountain Loop videos, on the downhill side, or actually on the up, I did something to my knee. My knee, it goes in and out. So I tweaked my knee going up the mountain. So going down the mountain the following day was very painful. These trekking poles were the only thing that really kept me sane, pretty much. They were able to lighten the load and help the burden of my knee on the way down the mountain because it's a very rocky bunch of switchbacks, and so it really helped on my knee. Now what I did, if you guys want to see a full breakdown tutorial onto how to make these trekking poles, drop me some comments in the description below, and I'll work on doing a full tutorial start to finish how to make a trekking pole just like this so you can have for your next hike. Now I've got about $25 invested in a set of trekking poles, 2 trekking poles. I've got about $25 invested, $5 in the golf club, and then about $15 to $20 invested in this whole bottom down here. Now you could do it for even cheaper, but the setup that I used down here cost me about $20. These are black diamond tips, and I've got the shoes here, which basically keep it from going any deeper in the ground, and I've got these boots. All that was extra. Now you can do it 100%. You can do it without the boot and without these shoes on here and just have the shaft, and you can get it with probably for about, if you can pick up the same price golf clubs, you can do it for about $15 and have this whole entire setup. So these boots though, these boots are awesome because what I do, my normal routine is when I get to a trailhead, both of these boots come off and they go in a pocket on my pack. and they stay there for the entire trip. I do not put them back on until I'm done with the hike. What that does, keeps these safe, don't lose them, and then when the hike is over, I'll take and put them back on. If I'm waiting in a trailhead for a ride to come, then the concrete isn't going to wear out my tips any faster. Also, it's going to make it to where when I store them in the car or store them at home, it's not going to scratch anything or damage anything with those carbide tips. So that's not going to hurt anything in the vehicle to or from the trail, and that's going to keep everything safe and keep my wife happy so I don't scratch the floor at the house. Now the boots or the shoes here, that helps keep your trekking poles from going too deep in, say, snow or mud or anything like that. Now you can hike with these. These are rubber, they have grip. If I can get it to focus on there, they do have grip. You can hike with them. I just never have. I mainly bought these for the protection aspect of everything else from my trekking poles damaging anything. And then basically you just cut the head off and then glue your tip onto your shaft. Like I said, I did this, I cannot remember, I think I used like the E3000 epoxy, and it has held up for, I'm gonna say 40 to 50 miles. I did a video with my tarp setup, and I'll drop a card up top for that video. But one of the times when I've set that tarp up, I actually used my trekking pole, set it on the ground upside down, and from the peak, the ridge line of my tarp, ran it here, ran it to the ground, and it held the end of my tarp off the ground without having to tie off to a tree. So it's been really beneficial to have trekking poles. Now, for the obvious reasons of keeping some weight off of your knees and that kind of thing while you're hiking, they come in handy in other ways. But navigating through rocky terrain, navigating in wet, getting spider webs off the trail, moving sticks off the way, you come across a snake, this is a really good way to get the snake out of your way. So yeah, really great. I didn't spend a whole lot of money, so I'm not worried if they get scratched up. You can see there's a few, I don't know if it'll focus, but there's a few scratches along here and there. Nothing that a little bit of spray paint won't fix. But either way, hike your own hike. If you want to use trekking poles but you don't want to spend the money, then these DIY trekking poles might be a good option for you. Check out your thrift stores, find you some golf clubs, graphite shaft, and I'll tell you, these two trekking poles together weigh in at a little over 11 ounces together, which is really not bad considering I'm carrying them most of the time. I don't very rarely have them strapped to my pack. I'll be going on a hike in a couple months. You will see these on that hike. They are definitely part of it. And if you go back to my videos from my Blood Mountain loop that I did last year, you'll see them. Absolutely love them. The only, well, two downfalls that I'm, in my opinion, to having trekking poles. One, well, these aren't collapsible. Two is if you need your hands for something, say to eat a snack, to vlog, to take a picture, you've got these to deal with. But when you don't have these boots on them, they will pretty much stab in the ground and they're not going anywhere. So the only problem with that is if you were on the move and trying to eat your Snicker bar while you're hiking, then it might pose a little bit of a problem. But I can't count the number of times that I've carried two in one hand to do something with my other hand. But all right, this video is getting pretty long. Anyway, DIY trekking poles. If you guys are interested in me doing a video, step-by-step tutorial how to make these, drop me a comment in the bottom. Let me know and I will gladly do that video. Otherwise, get you some trekking poles. Try them out before you say you're never going to use trekking poles. Get you some, try them out. All right, guys. Until next time, stay bearded, get outdoors, and God bless.